Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And boy, there is significant news on the regulation front. The SEC, Jay Clayton, who has led the commission since 2017, he's stepping down 6 months before his tenure was to expire. Now, this timing is important because if the new person who goes in does indeed provide regulatory clarity for the digital asset XRP before the 6 month timeline or deadline that Mr. Garlinghouse has given to decide whether or not to take Ripple out of the United States as a registered company, this could be very, very significant for XRP. So I am very hopeful. And you'll see this next story is quite interesting because Twitter has a new person in charge of their security. They have named hacker Peter Zotko, widely known for his hacker handle, Mudge, in a position where he's going to answer directly to CEO Jack Dorsey. Remember last July, a group of hackers tricked employees at Twitter, and they won access to get into those internal tools and allowed them to tweet from accounts like Biden, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk. That's not a good thing. And so here he is, Peter, in the center chair when he was part of this hacker collective that was out of Boston, Massachusetts. They were active between 1992 and 2000. And here they are giving testimony to the Senate that they could shut down the internet in its entirety. Well, after he made that claim, he got a lot of very important jobs, and including some of those jobs were for the US government. So what I am most interested is to see if maybe they can stop these imposters. I had another imposter on Twitter today taking my profile and creating a different name. You can see this is the name. I'm of course at Sento Sumo Saba, but they took my profile and then took my first name and started to direct mail people in this kind of fake scammy giveaway of 10,000, I believe it was 10,000 XRP. But you should know, and the person who I think one of the people that they contacted also knew that I would never do that. I would never give you an email to go to. I would never give you a phone number to call. And this person said, how can I really verify that it's you? Can you name the, can you give me the names of your cats? That is so funny because anybody who watches would probably be able to name at least one of the four that I have. This person then replied back, who was trying to scam, don't insult me with that kind of question. Just forget it. So good job on that person who was really quick to think of how to vet this scammer. Now, this is a very important news item coming out of Asia, and you may not be hearing about it in your part of the world, but this is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. It's a big deal. This is RCEP. 15 nations on Sunday have now created the world's biggest free trade framework deal. It accounts for a third of the world's population and nearly a third of the global economy. It's being scored as a China victory, as it has accomplished something that's never been done before, and that is Japan, South Korea, and China all on the same page in a trade deal. It's really quite remarkable. Julia Chatterley, she was quick to cover it on Monday. You can go to her Twitter feed and find that. But the point I want to stress here is really the development that's coming with a lot of narrative from the former central bank governor of China. He's been on a lot of webinars. One last week where he talked about the strategy of the digital currency that China is going to make is to push back against the US dollar dominance and also to make a real boost into the payment sector. By 2022, at the Beijing Olympics, they're planning to allow foreigners to exchange their currency for this digital asset without the need of a bank account. Can you imagine? And I'm sure with this new trade deal, they're going to make payments in the trade finance even quicker. No doubt that these RCEP trade members are going to be using the digital currency. So this is something we really need to watch. And they did flex their muscle today. The Chinese government did. They have suspended a deal that Huobi, the exchange in China, tried to do with buying the #1 exchange in Japan called Bitflyer and South Korea's largest exchange, BitThumb. Bitflyer had a valuation for that deal of 500 million, so it would have been a really big deal. But the Chinese government has suspended both deals. So when they are not happy with how you are playing in the space, they do let that be known, as they did with the Ant Financial IPO. All right, this is the University of Nicosia in Cyprus, and Ripple participated in one of their online decentralized learning series. This university, they have study centers in Athens, Bucharest, and New York City. They're made up of some 12,000 students, and it ranks in the top 1,000 universities globally. But there was 2 points in here that were quite interesting. This is Tyler Storm. He is part of the RippleX group or team, and he was an acqui-hire last summer from the company Logos. He's now a senior software engineer. And what he did on the demo is issue a currency on the XRP Ledger. So it really was a wonderful highlight of the functionality of the ledger. So it's just like Paxos or Tether or USDC or the true USD coin. This gives the ledger some amazing capability. I think you're going to see its use case blossom in this area. And then we have in the Q&A portion of that video, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description below, Michael Zochowski, he takes a question about Flare. And Flare, of course, is part of the Flare networks, which is going to then have the Spark token available should you want to claim it, coming up on a snapshot that will take place on December 11th in some places in the world and December 12th, because it happens right at that change. So if you're in the United States, it's on the 11th, and if you are in London or Japan, it's going to be on the 12th. Galgatron did a breakdown of all the times, and you can find that on Twitter, so that I don't think anyone's going to be waiting for the day before to move their XRP, but just in case, you should know that the times are different depending on where you are in the world. But listen to this question that he got and how Michael answers it.
All right, so with that, I'll stop my share here, and let us take a look at some of these questions. All right, so an interesting one. What role will Flare be playing in Payday and XRP Ledger going forward? So for those who are not aware, I guess in the context of the conversation around smart transactors, I made the distinction between a smart transactor system and a smart contract system. Flare is a smart contract system that is designed to be particularly closely integrated into the XRP Ledger. This is an initiative that's unrelated to Ripple, the company, but obviously very much building on the XRP Ledger itself. And so, I think we find that use case super interesting. Like I said, there's no right answer in terms of how a system is designed. There's use cases where you want smart contracts. There's use cases where a smart transactor is going to be more performant and more user-friendly. And so having the ability that Flare provides, as well as other projects and initiatives in the ecosystem to have full smart contract capability, that just opens up a number of other use cases that are not possible or not currently covered, is probably more accurate, under the current set of smart transactors. Because ultimately it's not, it's ultimately different use cases and different coverage that they can play.
Yeah, so it's definitely a separate project outside of Ripple, but it is a use case that is very interesting. So there you have it. I'm very, very much looking forward to this because I think it's going to give the world a real spotlight for how amazing the XRP Ledger is. And then, in regards to that esports, remember the team that is being paid in XRP by SBI, and they are now competing. They're professional gamers, and they have won their first tournament as an official SBI esports team. They did that with a tournament that just took place over the weekend, and it was these three guys here on the left. That's really fantastic. I just want to congratulate them. Sorrry wrote an article today about how esports could be the next new big thing. Well, hello. I think you're a little late to the party, Sorrry, because Ripple figured that out in March with their big $100 million grant for the Forte integration of taking XRP with the non-fungible tokens, the NFTs, and we haven't seen the actual announcement out of that yet. But I am positive they're working on some big projects on the backside. And then SBI didn't wait and created this esports professional team, and it is big. Take a look at this. So the team that SBI's esports team is playing is this Apex Legend game. Look at the numbers. So 1 week ago, this particular video, 1.8 million people watched. 2 weeks ago, 2.2 million people watched. 3.7 million people watched. 5.9 million people watched. I mean, the numbers are just unbelievable. Here's one that was uploaded just a couple of weeks ago, 5.9 million. The numbers are just astounding. 6.6 million views. Yeah, it's not, this could be the next big thing. It is the next big thing. Unbelievable. And then sticking with Mr. Kitao, I often read his diary, and sometimes I share his diary with you. And today's diary that he wrote was about the Chinese classics again in a 4-character idiom. These 4-character idioms in Asia are quite interesting, quite deep, quite philosophical, quite fun to read. There's some 20,000 of them, to give you an idea, but there are maybe 1,000 that are super well known that everybody uses. And the one that he's referring to this time is Shu Ko Chi Jing. And what that is you have to improve yourself and hone your spirit if you're going to be a leader. It's often used in business, and you have to work hard on your own personal training to accumulate that virtue, because the accumulation of your virtue is what inspires people. And this idiom is showing how when you stick to the high standards in life and stick to a quality that is valued by others, the word, which is Latin, is for moral excellence. Well, then what you're doing to stick to staying on the high ground and avoiding what is wrong, you will then be able to lead others. And he says in his diary that it's not about age at all. It's about just improving one's knowledge of yourself and how you are disciplined with your particular growth in life. And I just wanted to share with you the 4 kanji characters. When you write in kanji, there is a specific kind of cannot deviate from stroke order. So this first kanji character here, this is shu, and it means discipline. And the second kanji is ko, and it means self, one's self. The third kanji here is chi. And chi is to be, it's very conceptual, to kind of to be at peace, to reign, to rule, to subdue. And the last one is jin, which means person. So I don't know if there's never ever a literal translation, but the closest translation maybe would be in English, a person who is to rule oneself with discipline. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that because I always enjoy these idioms. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.